All right, now to figure out exactly what I'm doing here. I got to make a panel for some switches and buttons and knobs and such. And with a little luck, I'll have working AC when I'm done with all of this. Well, I actually have working AC right now, but I'm doing it with jumper wires. So I'm going to, well, I've got the relays in. I need to put some switches in, a controller for the temperature of the evaporator to make sure that it doesn't freeze up. And I've got the high-low pressure switches wired up. I'm going to show you a wiring diagram somewhere in this video of how all this stuff is supposed to work and kind of a little bit about how I did it. Every car is going to be different. This is just, this is just how I did it for my car, and so far so good. Haven't really done any test running on it yet at this point, but let's get into some wiring. This is a wiring diagram for a 2000 Toyota Celica 2001. Downloaded it off the internet when I started this project. Been very helpful with all this. None of this is super important. It's just all stuff that I did figuring out how to wire this up. All right, this is basically my wiring diagram. I am not an electrical engineer. I am a spark chaser, which means you hook up some wires, and when it sparks, you chase the problem down and fix it. But anyway, this is a, I don't know, simplified version or whatever of what it takes to make an AC system work from my point of view. You've got your AC magnetic clutch, relay to energize that, and you have a relay to energize your condenser fans under the hood. To energize the compressor clutch, you basically need a push button to energize that relay. But to keep the compressor system, the air conditioning system compressor from tearing itself up, you need the high-low pressure switch. Pressure switch goes to ground. Pressing the button then just commands the relay to be on, and if the high-low pressure switch is closed, if it's not under pressure or over pressure, the compressor will start running. Then to prevent your evaporator from freezing up, you can add an evaporator temperature sensor. I don't think this is really necessary if you know, you're doing this in a hot rod or something like that, but I'm putting it in because it's going to be kind of cool. So you don't want your AC compressor clutch energizing when your blower motor inside the car is off. So I stole positive power off the AC blower motor. So whenever the AC blower motor is running, I'll have positive to this side. Whenever all three of these are in the right position, that will ground it, energize the relay, clutch will run. If the fan gets turned off, energy stops going into it, the clutch de-energizes. On the condenser side, underneath the hood, you have the condenser fans. You have a relay that controls that. That gets positive power to the coils on the relay, and you're just asking it for ground to run your blower fans to keep temperatures down on the condenser. So to do that, you just need to run it to your AC pressure switch. This is the trinary switch in my system. This could also be grounded back to this if you don't have a pressure switch, or it could be done on maybe a temperature sensor, but I'd be a little bit leery of doing that unless the temperature sensor is set low enough. The other way that the relay is energized for the condenser fan is from the PCM when it commands a signal for the coolant temperature being high enough to run the fans. So either one of these will work independently. They work just fine. I was lucky enough so that when I hooked everything up in my car, this AC pressure switch was with the relays and all that stuff already, so this side of it all worked right off the bat. This is the side that I had to figure out and wire up. And now I'm going to go on to actually making the switch panel and looking around at wires and stuff like that. Hopefully I've showed this wiring diagram long enough so you can get some idea how it works. If anybody has any ideas of what might be wrong, please comment, and maybe I can save my system. But right now it all works. I'm just using I don't have a switch in here yet. I'm just grounding that to a nut or bolt somewhere, and it kicks on like it's supposed to. So let's get to building the panel and make this thing happen, put this car back together. And this will become part of my wiring diagram book here. I might even put some color codes on this at some point in time. Nah, why would I do that? All kinds of good information, notes, etc., etc. Well, I've tried to make it all nice and comfy in here. This is where I wired into the fan motor. I just tapped into the wire right here, that little gray wire right there, if I get my hand out of the way. That wire runs all the way around, kind of follows the wiring harness, and comes all the way over here to power my relay. And I had enough space to just kind of tuck that relay in out of the way. And my other wire, this orange wire, this is the wire that goes to the switch. That runs along the wiring harness. And it comes out over here, and that will be for my AC switch. Right now it's just being grounded right there, so I can tap it on the ground under the hood and make everything work temporarily. We're going to get this right, maybe. I've traced a rough outline of what will be a panel. I'll turn that into I'll cut it out, then I'll turn it into cardboard, then I'll turn it into a piece of probably plastic, I think. Not sure yet. This is going to be my temperature sensor for my condenser. I'll be able to adjust that. It has a relay in it, so I'll be able to wire the relay into the system to turn the power on and off, or turn the ground on and off that goes to my switch. I'm using these cool little round switches. Links for all this junk is going to be found in the video description. And I also got a switch eventually to do my transmission control for torque converter lockup. Yeah. What I'm doing here is a wiring test, just testing how to wire this switch up so that I can get my relay to energize the way I have it wired. And the light lights up on the switch, the relay works. That should do it. And this little LED lights when it's locked on, and it's a blue LED for a cool blue AC. So I'm going to get trimming this out, and we'll see what happens next. Way to go, genius. That hole tapers as it drops in, so yeah, we might have to do a little more trimming on that. I'll get it right, swear I will. Well, I don't need the push button for a door release in here anymore, I guess. Shove that down in there and then draw a line along the bottom corner. Sure, that's going to work just fine. Something like that. Add a little in the corners because I took too much radius out of those. I took a little too much out of these top corners too. Yeah, we'll probably have to remake this pattern about 6 times and then we'll get it right. Close enough for a pattern. Now all I got to do is make one out of plastic or sheet metal. Got my panel cut out, gave it a little bit of shape. I got my layout for the gauges and stuff I want to put in here. So I've drawn that on there, getting ready to drill some more holes in it and cut out some squares. We'll see how that works out. With a lot of high-tech cutting equipment here, figure out which way to lay it on the edge of the table so it hangs over on the right side, so it's stable enough so I can cut it without it bouncing up and down. With a little bit of luck, when I'm all done cutting this, it'll be just a tiny bit undersized. I'll be able to file it to the perfect fit. That's with luck. And if Guy was smart, he would have covered this all with tape so it didn't have any more scratches, but it's used aluminum to start with, so it's already got some pretty deep scratches in it. We'll figure that out. As they say, that's a problem for future me. All right, been doing a little bit of filing. Got one of them so it fits in there. I'm not going to snap it all the way in because it's going to be rather difficult to get out once it's snapped in. Now I'm going to start working on getting the next one to fit, and it looks like it's pretty close to fitting. I just have to basically straighten out the edges of the hole where I made that nice, smooth, straight cut. And then that one will drop right in. Getting closer, getting closer. Looks like just this edge now. All right, this is what it looks like right now. I have everything done on the operation side of things here. It's all wired together. I've got the pins crimped on to stick into my connector. I've got to wire the pins. I've got to put the pins on the wires that are in the car. And once I do that, we'll be able to connect it up and find out if pushing the button turns on the AC and if the alternator charge system still works. I guess we'll know something in a little bit. I just keep sticking things together. Oh, this is my high-tech wiring diagram. Look at that. Isn't that, I mean, that's perfect, ain't it? That tells you everything you need to know. And this is my connector pin out, so that I know what pins are going to where, and I will rewrite this and put that in my list of other connector pinouts that I have for all the other connectors that are in the car. Most of these are back in the back at the fuse panel on the back firewall, stuff like that. But anyway, trying to keep records of everything so I can fix it if it needs to be fixed. All right, let's see. A1 is a brown wire, alternator PWM. A1. If I label the plug right and I stick these in the right holes, this stuff might work when I get it put in the car. All right, guess I'll rejoin you when this thing actually gets together and we test it. I'm even putting a little rubber, yeah, slow down. I'm even putting the little rubber grommets in it, even though it's inside the car. I don't know why. Where's my little grommet tool? This is my grommet tool. Has a little slot in it, so it goes over the wire and push. Push and wiggle. There you go. Well, if I'm not careful, it's going to look like somebody did this that kind of halfway, sort of maybe, kind of knew what they were doing. All right, carbon monoxide meter set to 0. Got the doors open and the fans are on. I'm going to do a quick AC test on the car so I can get back to running the AC in the shop. All right, we have everything reinstalled, switches, knobs, and gauges. Oh, yep. Always blow the horn before you start the car. Make sure everybody's clear. All right, Houston, we have a problem. Seems to be a wire disconnected somewhere or something. Oh, shoot, I didn't push these all the way in before I shoved this in. And one of them came disconnected. Must have. I'm not again any blower fan. Technical difficulties. Pull this out, I'll be right back. All right, take 2. All right, I heard the clutch kick on the AC compressor. There goes the pressure. All right, fans came on. Oh, we got nice cold air in here already. see the temperature going down on this right here. This is how I can set the temperature of the AC evaporator. That will effectively set the temperature inside of the car if I wanted to, but right now it's just set to about 34 degrees to keep the evaporator core from freezing up. That will shut the AC off completely. As you can see, she's crawling down. Got nice cold air blowing out of the vents here. This is my alternator PWM, and that's my voltage. I can adjust the percentage on the PWM. I have a video on that. Link in the video description and up here. This is the control button that I rebuilt. All right, took the car out for a little test drive. Air conditioning system seems to be working real well. The temperature sensor for the evaporator core is working exactly where it's set at. As you can see, the temperature gets below 34 degrees. It cuts the compressor off and keeps the evaporator from freezing up. The only problem I'm really having with the air conditioner is that I might have it a little bit overcharged. It did cut off from the high pressure switch, cut it off a couple times when I was going real slow. The temperature was 95 degrees, but I'll probably have to bleed a little bit of pressure off it. I'll check that with the gauges and see what's going on with that. I also have a problem with I guess you'd call it a false on light on my AC switch. The AC switch will indicate on even though it's turned off, and that only happens when the blower fan inside the car is not running. Somehow or another it's getting a power signal backfed through something. I'm going to try putting a diode in the wire to the relay from the fan and see if that helps. Maybe a resistor somewhere. I don't know. If you're really interested in what's going on with that, check the video description. I'll update it when I figure that one out. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Now I got to get back to putting this car back together so I can actually get out there and enjoy driving it around. Right now it's just got one seat in it, no carpet, half the dash, you know. But I'll get it.